I overheard my girlfriend laughing on the phone. He's going to propose this weekend. I'll say yes just for the ring, then ghost him. I said nothing. 2 days later, she opened the ring box and found a note inside. She's been crying outside my building ever since. I never thought I'd be sharing this story, but here I am at 3 a.m., watching my now ex-girlfriend sitting in her car outside my friend Mike's apartment building. The woman I planned to spend my life with, reduced to desperate texts and calls that I've been ignoring for the past 48 hours. It started last Saturday. Jessica and I had been together for 4 years. We met at my buddy Mike's Super Bowl party. She was his co-worker's roommate. The connection was immediate. Smart, ambitious, beautiful, she checked every box. We moved in together after a year. Got a dog, a German Shepherd named Diesel, who was technically mine since I adopted him before we moved in together, and started what I thought was building a life. I'd been planning the proposal for months. Bought the ring, a 2.5-carat diamond that cost me nearly 3 months' salary. I'd made reservations at Callaway's, the fancy steakhouse downtown where we had our first anniversary dinner. Arranged for a string quartet, talked to the restaurant manager about the whole setup. It was going to be perfect. Last Saturday, I came home early from playing golf with Mike. Usually I'm gone for 5 or 6 hours, but Mike's back was acting up, so we called it after 9 holes. Jessica didn't hear me come in. She was on the balcony, engrossed in a phone call, laughing in that carefree way that used to make my heart swell. "Yeah, this weekend," she was saying. "He's been acting weird all month, hiding his phone, being mysterious about his schedule, classic pre-proposal behavior." I froze in the hallway. Should I make my presence known? Before I could decide, she continued. "Of course I'll say yes," she laughed again, but this time it was different, colder somehow. "Are you kidding? Have you seen the rock his sister wears? His family has money. I'll say yes, get the ring, then figure out my exit strategy. 3 months tops, then I'm gone." My blood went cold. I stood there, utterly still, as the woman I loved kept talking. "Look, I've wasted 4 years on this relationship. He's stable, he's decent in bed, but he's so boring. No ambition beyond his middle management job. But that ring? That's my consolation prize. I'll ghost him after I get it sized." Then the kicker. "Anyway, Brad's been waiting for me to end things. Says the position in his firm's Chicago office is still mine if I want it. And trust me, I want it, and him." Brad, her boss, the guy who always found reasons to text her after hours, the guy she told me was married and totally not her type. I quietly backed away, went out the front door, and closed it loudly enough for her to hear. "Babe, is that you? You're home early." She appeared in the living room, phone nowhere in sight, smiling like she hadn't just destroyed everything. I mumbled something about Mike's back, kissed her cheek, and said I needed a shower. Under the spray, with water masking any sound I might make, I finally let myself react. Not with tears, I was too shocked for that, but with a clarity I hadn't felt in years. The next day was Sunday. We had brunch with her parents like we did every other weekend. I watched her laugh with her father, discuss wedding venues with her mother. They'd been not so subtly pushing for a proposal for a year now. Jessica played her part perfectly, looking at me with what I'd always interpreted as love. Had I been misreading her all this time? Or had things changed? Did it even matter? Throughout the day, I maintained my routine. Watched the game with her dad, helped her mom clear the table, held Jessica's hand as we drove home. All while my mind worked overtime, adjusting to this new reality and formulating a plan. Monday morning, I called in sick to work, something I'd done maybe twice in 5 years. The moment Jessica left for her office and Brad, I made moves. First, I called Callaway's and canceled the reservation, forfeiting my deposit. Then I called my bank and my credit card companies, removing her as an authorized user. I contacted my landlord about breaking our lease. It required 30 days' notice, but I explained the situation and agreed to pay through the following month. I went to the jeweler where I'd purchased the ring. I explained the situation and asked to exchange it. They were reluctant until I explained the situation. The older woman behind the counter looked at me with a mixture of pity and respect, then agreed to help. I exchanged the engagement ring for store credit, but kept the empty box. She helped me place a note inside while keeping the actual ring in their safe for me to decide what to do with later. By Tuesday afternoon, everything was set. I'd found a new pet-friendly apartment across town, slightly more expensive but worth it for Diesel. Scheduled movers for the following weekend and set up mail forwarding. I'd even arranged for Mike to take Diesel for a week until I was settled. Tuesday night was when I'd planned to propose. Jessica came home to find me cooking her favorite meal, steak with mushroom sauce and roasted potatoes. I'd set the table with our good plates, lit candles, opened an expensive bottle of wine. "What's all this?" she asked, looking genuinely surprised. "Just felt like doing something special," I replied, managing a smile that didn't reach my eyes. If she noticed, she didn't show it. Throughout dinner, she kept glancing at me expectantly, especially when I reached for my pocket to grab my phone. The disappointment in her eyes when it wasn't a ring box was subtle but unmistakable. After dessert, the tiramisu from the Italian place she loved, I finally did what she was waiting for. I got down on one knee and pulled out the ring box. Her eyes lit up. She covered her mouth with her hands in practiced surprise. "Jessica," I said, keeping my voice steady. "These past 4 years have meant everything to me. You've changed my life in ways I never thought possible." Tears welled in her eyes. Oscar-worthy performance. "Open it," I said, handing her the box. Her hands trembled as she took it, either from genuine emotion or anticipation of her consolation prize. She opened the box and her expression shifted from joy to confusion. Inside, where the ring should have been, was a folded note. She unfolded it slowly, her hands now shaking for a different reason. The note read, "I heard your phone call on Saturday. I know about your plan. I know about Brad. Consider this my ghost." Her face went white. "Mark, I can explain." I stood up, already walking toward the door where I'd left a packed overnight bag. "There's nothing to explain. I'll be back on Saturday with movers for my thing. I'm taking Diesel. The lease is paid through next month, so you have time to figure things out." "Mark, please, you don't understand." I turned back one last time. "I understand perfectly. For what it's worth, I really did love you. Goodbye, Jessica." That was 2 days ago. I've been staying at Mike's, coming into the office early and leaving late to avoid any chance of running into her. That I haven't blocked her number yet, because I want to document everything in case she tries to twist the narrative. But I haven't responded to a single message. She's called 47 times, left 29 voicemails, sent over 60 texts, ranging from angry, "You're overreacting to a stupid joke," to desperate, "Please just talk to me," to pathetic, "I'll do anything." Tonight she somehow figured out I was staying at Mike's. His girlfriend Shannon answered the door and told her I wasn't available. I was, hiding in the guest room like a coward. 20 minutes later, Mike got a call from one of our mutual friends saying Jessica was parked outside his building, crying in her car. Part of me feels sorry for her. A larger part feels nothing at all. The irony isn't lost on me. She planned to ghost me after getting what she wanted. Instead, I ghosted her before she could execute her plan. The perfect proposal became the perfect exit. It's 3:26 a.m. now. Her car is still there. My phone just lit up with text 71. "I'm not leaving until you talk to me." I've silenced my notifications. Tomorrow I have an appointment with a therapist. Next week I start moving into my new place. In a month, I'm taking that management training program my boss has been pushing. The one Jessica always said was a waste of time. For the first time in 4 years, every decision I make is for me. And despite everything, that feels something like freedom. Update. It's been 2 weeks since everything went down, and I've got to say, the support from this community has been incredible. I wasn't expecting this post to blow up like it did. To answer some common questions, yes, I exchanged the ring for store credit. I'm using it to buy a decent watch, something I've always wanted but never pulled the trigger on. Treating myself for once. No, I haven't taken Jessica back. For those saying I should hear her out, I heard enough on that phone call. Some bells can't be unrung. I did finally block her number after saving all the messages as evidence. Diesel is doing great. Mike's place has a yard, and his girlfriend Shannon takes him for runs daily. I'll have him back with me next week, once I'm settled in the new place. Thankfully, I found an apartment complex that's pet-friendly, even for larger dogs. To the guy who asked if Brad was really married, yes, he is. After seeing how cozy they were in pictures on social media, Public posts they didn't even try to hide. I reached out to his wife through Facebook. Not my proudest moment, but she deserved to know. Jessica got laid off from her position last week. Coincidence? Doubtful. Her parents called me on my work phone yesterday. Smart move since they knew I wouldn't have blocked that number. Apparently, Jessica told them a very different version of events. When I calmly explained what actually happened, her mom started crying. Her dad just went silent. They've always been good to me. That conversation hurt more than anything else. For those telling me I dodged a bullet, you're right. But it still feels like I got hit by the shrapnel. I'm taking it one day at a time. Therapy is helping. The management program starts next week. I've reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with over the years. Someone commented that the best revenge is living well. I'm starting to believe that's true. Thank you all again for the support. I may not have the life I thought I was building, but I'm surprisingly okay with the one I'm creating instead. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up overnight. Thanks for the gold, kind strangers. To the person who asked if I'd share the security camera footage from the proposal night, no, I didn't record it and wouldn't share it even if I had. Some things should stay private, even in the digital age. Edit 2. For those wondering about Jessica's current situation, a mutual friend told me she moved in with her sister temporarily. She still emails occasionally, since I've blocked her phone number, but the tone has changed. Less desperate, more reflective. Too little, too late. Final update. It's been a month now. I'm settled in my new place with Diesel, past the first phase of the management program with flying colors. Started rock climbing at a local gym, something I'd always wanted to try, but Jessica thought was too risky. Risk feels different to me now. Sometimes the safest looking path leads you right off a cliff.